Hello, everyone, and welcome to Twillow Talk. I'm Tanis Coughlin from the Twillow Lifestyle Community, Twillow Lifestyle Academy, and I am super excited to have our special guest today. We have Lynn Chittick today. So we're going to hear all about Lynn. A little update. I'm not sure that Jen's going to make it today. We've had a little hiccup. So I'm super excited to have Lynn, and we're going to have a conversation. And of course, we want to hear from all of you as well. So please feel free to put stuff in the chat, ask lots of questions. Lynn has some awesome information about an organization that she founded called Torch. So we're going to find out about that. And yeah, so ask lots of questions. Okay, guys? It's good to see you all. Lynn, how about telling us what you do? I know you do many, many things. I always say I do stuff.
Well, I say right now, this lady right here, Tanis, is the spark, right? She's a spark. And we all have this internal spark. And Torch, the organization for realizing change in humanity, is a dream that came in 2015 and came from a gentleman, Michio Kushi. He died 3 weeks prior. And he always said we had to go out to the world to spark the world and help. So he said, I'm going to go to Europe and I've got to spark it and blah, blah, blah. So that beautiful name originally was Humanitera, and now it's Torch. And we've grown over the last 6 years. We just had our 6th-year anniversary legally, which was really exciting.
You had a special event.
I know. It was 6 years yesterday.
Yeah.
Taqwa Ahmed was 12 years old when she joined the Torch, and she came to me and said, Mama Lynn, I want to be part of the Torch. And she actually coined the name the Torch family. So we have 4 pillars: peace, health, environment, and tech. Those 4 pillars are what the issues are in the world. And so for me, I kept envisioning, like, what do you want me to do from spirit? And for me, it was very clear all along the way, and it's grown organically. We're in probably about 15 countries. There's about 69 people that have said yes, and there's probably another 50 people that really said yes but didn't join in all the way. So I feel very grateful. We've had a lot of beautiful works. Over the last year, we've taken really a hiatus, just kind of stopped, regrouped. I got married. So that was a big
Congratulations.
And moved to Pennsylvania and bought a beautiful farm. And, I have this beautiful office, and I'm super happy to see my, I have a meditation spot, just like a really sweet space all the way up. I call it the Eagle's Nest.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
So thank you. Thanks for asking. So I hope any of you can join the Torch family. So it's on Facebook, so you can just join in and see what we do. And I really believe we as entrepreneurs need each other. And Thomas and I met, and we did a lot of deeper work together immediately, and it was super fun. So I haven't talked to you in probably almost a year.
Probably close to that. We've chatted on and off on Facebook, but we haven't been able to coordinate schedules. So I'm super excited this worked out today.
Thank you. Thanks for
that. Super exciting. So let's say hello to a few people. We have Tarot Stash on today. Howdy all. Hello, Gerald. Great to see you. I was just on Gerald's show this afternoon, so that was awesome. Nice. We had a blast. And we have Fogo Pogo. Hello, hello. How are you, Kaylee? Hope your day is good. And we have La Lima. Thank you for joining us. It's great to have you on. And we have Michelle Marie from Astrological Tarot. Hello. Thanks for coming. Yay. So Michelle she's been on the show, and Gerald's been on the show. Michelle's one of the teachers with the Twillow Lifestyle Academy as well. And she and I do a show on Wednesday nights where we do readings and that. So that's lots of fun. Wednesday nights at 7 Eastern. Hello, Purette. Nice to have you join us. Thank you so much. So usually we kind of take a temperature about what's happening in the energy
Sounds
What are your thoughts on that for this week, Lynn? So you should know that Lynn is also very much a spiritual practitioner. She does a lot of that stuff, very intuitive. She's very much, well, why don't you share a little bit about your spiritual journey, Lynn, so that people sort of understand where you're coming from?
definitely. From a really young age, I was definitely in the site with very many different entities. I feel very grateful and had a very deep experience with the white horse at around the age of
Beautiful.
9. The angels would take me swimming from, early age up until around that 9 or 10. And then the white horse came and I was going into all different worlds. And I was like, I just thought everybody did what I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to be around 19. And then it was like, okay, people aren't doing this much. I can't really talk about this that much. And so for me, I had really a deep experience at 19 that catapulted just a deeper spiritual pathway. I started teaching spiritual practices, spiritual works in my 20s and 30s. Really went through Rudolf Steiner's work to try to find more esoteric understanding. Rudolf Steiner's an enlightened being from Europe, and he came to me many times. And then there were many connections with him and I, and this whole world. And then there was a deep connection. There was a deep connection to the richness of Jesus. I've always had this connection with Jesus, and so Jesus and I, and the whole consciousness. I moved into a house around 24, and a gentleman there had the exact same experience I had at 19, where we were deep in some really deeper pathways. And later on, we really connected it to the tribute of, the tribal people around Christ and that deeper part. And I think that's been a thread all the way through. 30s, studied a real esoteric path in Buddhist tradition. Did a lot of teaching, given a dojo at 35. Amma gave me a rose off of her garland, the hugging Buddha, at 35-year-old birthday. I was there just visiting a friend. I had never known about Amma, and all her followers started following me. So it was like, okay, what is it?
Beautiful.
But, there are these moments in life. And then at 31, I was gifted. I'm trajectorying back a little bit, but Michio and Evelyn Kushi I met when I was 27, and I had a breast tumor. And I went on to help people with cancer and help people with a deeper path. Really got involved in environmental work early. I made the first sustainable bag in America and the world, put it on the marketplace, did a lot of early trajectories of environmental work, 30 years ago. So did a lot with that. And then that natural food movement, cooked and taught and developed, trained the largest kitchen, Perpetual Yoga Center in natural cuisine when I was 31, took in cancer patients, homeless women, homeless moms. So went on to have 5 kids. I have 7 grandkids. I'm grateful. That's a deep spiritual path, I think, for any of us. And I studied theology for the last 14 years, doing a doctorate. So super nice to see everybody here. I think for me, Tanis and I have gone deep in spirit work. I think the trajectory for this year or this month for me is watching the waters and what do the waters mean. And I can tell a short little story about going to Israel, if you'd like. So
Sure, that'd be lovely.
I'm holding this little Mary, and she jumped out when you asked me to come on. I said, okay. So,
is she Shiva? Shiva Lingam?
It's Mary. It's Mary. We went to the Mary Magdalene Center in Israel, and I had a really rich experience. The whole group that I was with was a Swedenborgian. I don't know if anybody knows Emanuel Swedenborg, but he was a seer in the 18th century. He's gone on to write a lot around biblical text. And me as a theologian, I've developed a lot around the ideas of sustained. Where will we sustain in this next generation for peace? Where will we sustain our next generations? And so I've been drawn a lot to Pakistan, but Israel really touched me at this land. I think it was maybe 20 years ago that they found her actual site, Mary Magdalene's site, and the richness around that site was there's a mountain, and up in the mountain there's a stream, and the trees, you can see where the stream used to come down into the village. There's a whole line of trees, and it used to come into the village to give water. Well, the Romans came and cut the water off.
Mm.
And I've been really diving in since I got back around the feminine and around the waters being cut off. So we can talk about that maybe with the card that you pull. We can go deeper in some of that work. But I've been diving into that, the delusions of our words, the delusions of what we're being fed. We see Christianity, if you celebrate Christianity, we see Christmas and Easter and all of that here. But I think the patriarch, if we look at a broader spectrum, I love men and women. I don't go into some of the dialogue of the modern world, but I do believe that the waters have been cut off from women and with women's wisdom. And I have some stories there that I can share too. So
that's awesome. Well, we usually pick a card, but we don't have to. We can certainly delve into whatever spiritual topic we choose.
Pick a card.
Pick a card. Okay.
Awesome Taurus energy.
All right, guys. So as you know, we usually pick a card from The Soul's Journey by James Van Praagh. So let's see what Spirit wants us to talk about today. That was quick. Oh, forgiveness. Beautiful. So we have forgiveness.
Nice. And it's a spiral.
It is. Beautiful spiral, and my camera is not focusing. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Is the affirmation.
Perfect.
So, forgiveness.
Yeah.
So, how do you guys all feel about forgiveness? Let us know what you would like to talk about related to forgiveness. It always brings up the Ho'oponopono for me. What comes up for you, Lynn?
I think, of course we're talking, I just jumped into that whole work. Christianity has some bad raps, and religion has bad raps. And I think a lot of people want to talk about spirituality and not religion. And I see it kind of as a time in our age where both of them are trajectories from our past. And if we can open up the door for opening both of those trajectories instead of closing them, it's a form of forgiveness. It's a vibrational form of opening. And the feminine brings that. We bring their receptivity. We have to receive each other's love instead of close each other's down and close each other down. And I think, I don't think any of us as women have had it easy to make a living, have had it easy to spiritually align ourselves with our spiritual paths. I'm so proud of you, Taurus, for doing what you do. I'm always very grateful for Taurus because she opens my door to speak on the larger spectrum. I do in smaller circles. I do with my clients. I do with the work I do. I'm always in spirit. I feel like that is my work. But the times that Taurus and I have spoken, we go deep and we bring in the spirit. So why don't we stop for a minute and let some entities drop in with us, shall we?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Let's
you have
see
some knocking at your door, do you, that you want to share?
See who comes for you and who comes for who. How's that?
Yeah, sure.
And we have somebody in the text.
We have a couple of things here. We've got hello, everyone, from, where are we? Rossie's Den. Hello, or Rosie's Den. Nice of you to join us. And we do have a comment here from Fogo Pogo. I find it hard, especially when one is deeply hurt by the person or situation. Ho'oponopono has definitely made a difference. So for those of you that don't know the Ho'oponopono, it was started in the Huna tradition. It's been very Americanized, of course, over time, but a super powerful tool. I use it with all of my clients, and it's made a huge difference for me personally as well. I remember before I found it, you carry stuff and you're like, people would say, just let it go. And I'd be like, how do you just let it go? I don't get that. Like, I'm a Leo. I don't get that. So I would say, yes, okay, I let it go. And then I'd be like, I don't feel any different. When I found the Ho'oponopono, I realized the way that the energy really brings it up for us and allows us to release it. Inevitably, when I use the Ho'oponopono, I end up crying, which of course is a great way to process the energy related. So it's 4 phrases, guys. It's I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, and thank you. So, and you just repeat them. And it really heals the connections. We're all connected, really heals the connections, allows you to really process that forgiveness energy. There we go.
Lovely.
Here. We have another one. Forgiveness helps me cope with my own pain. And from being harmed in other ways, I offer compassion to myself and the other person. Then I set healthy boundaries if the toxicity persists. Absolutely. Beautiful, Michelle. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
And a big hello to Vivienne. Vivienne, nice to have you. Thank you. And this is actually Lynn Chittick that is with us today.
Yeah.
Put your name back up. There we are.
My name is changed to Lynn Chittick Thompson. So
Lynn Chittick Thompson.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
There we are.
Let's just fix that.
I want to ask anyone in there, you know, when you're doing prayer, when you're bringing prayer in, hello, Vivian, thank you for saying hi. And when you're doing prayer, I want to ask you, are you praying for others? Are you praying for yourself? Or are you praying for the greater whole? What are your ideas around prayer? I would love to hear that. And then we'll get into a talk about what is the forgiveness within prayer. I think that might be a nice topic.
Mm-hmm. And I'm feeling we might have someone like Mother Mary or
sounds good
coming through. We'll see if she does anything with us today, or maybe we will just speak about her.
Yeah, Mary Magdalene is definitely here.
Yeah. Do you have anything she's coming through with you for?
She opens up, you know, Jesus goes to her and she wipes his feet with her hair, but she uses essential oils to bless his feet. So out of her pain and her struggle, she's opening the door for healing another, right? So when we're in that process of going inward and then outward, it's kind of like this beautiful hourglass shape that I'm getting. And she brings the hourglass consciousness. She's bringing us, we go a little wide sometimes in frustration or anger or, you know, what is going on with this person, how, and then you slow down and you go in a little bit, you go further in, you know it's about you. And you know it's that spiritual depth. And you have to go deep in to forgive yourself and then open that back up. And then Mary brings she's like bringing huge joy. Mary is the protector. I would say she's a protectress. And she brings that mountain. I remember my little one, Emily, when she was 7. And I brought it to a chiropractor. And he said, what's going on? I said, well, she won't leave my side. He said, well, you carry the Mary energy. You carry that Mother Mary energy. She wants your aura around her because she feels protected. And I thought that was so sweet, you know, that idea, you know.
Well, you do carry so much of that Mother Mary energy. I mean, that's why you're known as Mama Lynn.
I know.
Right?
I was given that name by kids when I was in my 20s. So, yeah, Mama Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nice one. But how about you? What's coming up for you?
That really, Mother Mary, she's bringing my attention to a channeled message that I did. So I'm just going to search that on my YouTube channel because I'm going to post it again. It's very much about love and forgiveness. And it was a beautiful message. So I think I will let that speak for itself in terms of that. So it was done about a year and a bit ago. And it's about a half an hour or 20 minutes. So let me just pull this up here. I'm going to just put that in the chat, you guys. All right.
Astrology Tarot says, I pray to get out of my own way. The divine and my guides know better. Aw, upside down. All right. Beautiful. I think for me, the spoken word is all around us all the time. The sound, the vibrational patterning of words. And when they're hurtful words, there is a setting of letting go for letting that open to our forgiveness, right? To open to forgive another human, to open to really let the divine open us back up. But it's you. I think it's you, though. I really feel like, when you start thinking about prayer and the essence, they're only returning you to yourself. And I think that is the divine. It's not getting out of your way. It's kind of getting into your way. For me, it's a
redirection thing.
an inward, right? And I think that, at least for me, that's how I feel most of the time, spiritually. Yeah. I have to remember. I wrote a book called Remembrance to Remember, and I just said to my husband, I've got to get some things published, and I'm excited about that book. It's just a simple fiction type book, but it's about the she, and I channeled it for, I don't know how many, I think I did 11 days. I did this writing workshop, and they wanted you to write 1,000 or 1,500 words a day, and you just channel it. And it was a really special moment because the she, Sheeee, it was both the masculine and the feminine that we had to remember. And the essence of that was bringing this essence of that opening, like how we remember our place of conception, how we remember the place of the union, of the holy, the union of the sacred. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Well, and the forgiveness is kind of balancing those energies, right? In many ways. When we talk about forgiveness, it's about really bringing in both the feminine and masculine. So forgiveness can be about, putting the boundaries for ourselves and making sure that we can move forward. And it can also be the feminine of giving compassion and love. And I think both come into that in their own way. And here's Fogo Pogo. I used to pray all the time when I was younger, but stopped. I feel sometimes like I need to relearn how to do it, and that I'm out of practice. Oh, we don't need to be practiced at it. Prayer comes naturally. They're always there whenever we need them. So we don't really need to practice. It's just authentic conversation with them.
That's nice. I would say there was a time where I felt that in a way. I think I was pretty close to 30, and Michio wanted me to really develop this relationship with Reverend Tanaka. He was a Shingon priest, and he taught me how to use sound. And Aveline had already trained us in sound and vibrational healing of old ancient prayers. And sometimes if we can chant, I was chanting with Aveline. I said, I'm too Christian to do this. This is Buddhism. And she said, Lynn, no. It's just sound. Sound is just sound. And it was such a beautiful moment of time.
That's right.
But, I love this prayer that Mitra gave us of just the sound of Su, S-U, and Su. Breathe in. Su. And it's the sound of peace when a baby sleeps.
Right.
That simple, gentle sound of Su.
Beautiful.
So that's a beautiful one. That's simple. And then there's many different sounds. And I'm working a lot with this idea of the word because Emanuel Swedenborg does a lot of work around the white horse, and so that's been kind of magical for me. And it's really,
especially with your connection.
no, it's been a very rich relationship. So anyway, try sound Fogo Pogo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, try to use dialogue.
Yeah.
What did she say that way? Just a
It doesn't need to be structured.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I think sound can take you off into some other place. And I think there you can bring it a little further.
Oh, there's a good question.
That's a good question.
Yeah. So Ming says, do you see color when you use sound? Or is there a sound of color?
There is a sound of color for sure. So when I was in Scotland, I went to the island of Iona. And Spirit told me when you go across to the island, the parting of the spears opens up going over to Iona. It's a very, very sacred island of the Druids, and St. Columba and the Druids met there. So a Catholic priest and the Druids came together. That's where the Celtic knots came together.
Beautiful.
And those amazing structures, I was told to take wine and bread and fast for 3 days and go out on the island.
Nice.
And at least for me, that idea of sound, around maybe the second day, all the flowers were giving me their different sounds.
Beautiful.
And I was told to bring the vibrational patterning back. And I was being taught that between you and I, Tanis, we have this beautiful color in between us, right? Because we have this deep connection. Every time Tanis and I was like, oh my gosh, you're my sister. Yes. Yeah. And there's a beautiful
known each other before.
between us, right? And so when there's discord, you can use a sound to heal it. And so I was being taught all of the vibrational color sounds. And my husband is a nuclear physicist. We have this talk quite a bit because I believe that it has to be put back into practice. Mm-hmm. And then I can give you one more sound vibrational patterning that Michio gave us. And it's when all my memory came through. It was a very powerful time. I was 31 and I had a full opening at that point. Not that I hadn't had others, but this was a very big one. And he gave us this idea that in the biblical text, it says that the man gave the rib to a woman, right? Michio said the rib was a soundboard. So I'll give you a sound, another sound to practice, okay? It's A, E, O, U, just like our vowels, okay? So I, O, let's try it together, everybody. I, O. And now we're going to use Tanis's name, and we're going to use her consonant. Okay. We're going to do tate, ti, to, tu. Okay?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Tate, ti, to, tu. And let's see, who else can we use?
Michelle.
Yeah, M. Okay, let's do M. Okay. Ma, me, mi, mo, mu. So these sound relationships, this is bringing me to this major forgiveness prayer too, so don't let me forget. But the sound of these sounds, all the consonants in front of the vowels, is how your name came, how sound comes, how words come into your consciousness, how patternings come in. So when we have discord and we have trauma or we have things that are powerful, you have to look at it from a point of view of opening. So I want to answer this question first. So do you see color when you use sound? Is there a sound of color? I think I had a deep experience, and I want to go back to this other forgiveness prayer, so don't let me forget. But there's a color vibrational patterning that if you're on the road and there's no good food, if you can look at pictures of good food along the way, you can take the energy of the good foods in. And so color of those foods are very powerful. Okay? So very, very good ma, me, mi, mo, mu are released to, what does she say? We use sounds to choose baby names in Vedic astrology. Very nice. Very nice. Beautiful.
Very cool.
What are they related to? To
Leo. To Leo.
Oh, very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Michelle and I are both Leos, and we're a day apart in birthdays. So,
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
mhm.
Okay, here's the thing that I want you to do for forgiveness, okay? You're going to
Hey,
get a
Sonia.
mirror. You're going to get a mirror, all right? You're going to put it in front of you, and it's really nice to do in a group. So if you have a group of women, group of, people around you, put the mirror and put 2 white candles and light the candles, okay? As you light the candles, you're looking into the mirror, you're going to sit down, and everybody around you is going to let you chant your name, and then they're all going to chant your name. And this is a very deep, deep forgiveness, because you will see chanting your own personal name and looking at the mirror will open you again to another layer of your sound vibrational consciousness. So this is a very sweet thing to do.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Here's, we want to say hello to Sonia, who's joined us.
Hi,
Hello, Sonia and Arlene.
Hi, Arlene.
Thank you for joining us. You're Leo too. That's awesome.
Yay. And I've got a ton of Leo in there. My birthday was yesterday. I'm
Awesome.
a Cancer woman with a Leo rising. So I hear
And
you.
happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
awesome. So, just looking at the comments here. Oh, please remember to like and follow, and check out Lynn's website is in the comments or in the below. So
Oh,
please
what is
check
it?
that
What did
out.
you put in? What did you?
Your Lynn Chittick one.
Okay, good. Okay. You can also go to torchseeds.com. It's the organizational, and we're building our website. We've had ups and downs with tech people. And as Thomas knows, tech is another layer, right?
Oh yeah.
It's a
For
powerful
sure.
it's a powerful thing. What would you
So,
like to know, Thomas? What would you like to know? Anything more? Like, I think Mary's coming back in.
okay. Yeah. Well, whatever she has for us, that's great.
Attuning to sound, she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Attuning, like a tuning fork, right? In between the notes is where the specialness of that color is.
Beautiful.
So in between these notes.
Nice. I'm just seeing a lot of purple right now. So I have a lot of feels like a lot of angelic guides in here today. I'm pretty cold, which is usually my indication that I have some archangelics around me. So let's just tap into that and see what they have to say. They're just putting forth that it's a key concept for right now. The earth is in need of multiple forms of forgiveness as a whole and on an individual basis between people. And forgiveness is an essential part of love. It's part of that unconditional love. You can't have unconditional love without forgiveness. Something to be practiced. Ming's saying she saw purple when you were doing Sue.
It's really nice to do before a meal in a group of people and all attuned to each other.
Yeah, I bet.
It's a really beautiful sound. Yeah.
These are related to Aries and Taurus.
Oh, very nice.
Awesome.
Please. This is very cool. Very fun community here.
Yeah, we have such a great community. Thank you all for sharing your energy today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
I'm going to share one more thing from Israel. Can I?
Please, yeah.
So this is another space that I went to. And on the one side is a pregnant mom.
Mm-hmm.
And this side is Mary. And Mary is visiting It's called the Visitation, when she visits Elizabeth in the biblical text. But what's special about this is that I didn't know is Elizabeth had to escape. When Mary went to see her after the fact, she had to escape as a pregnant woman. And in this actual chapel, way up on the hill in this little town in Israel, this deep little chapel has where it all happened with the two of them meeting. They met there. And up on all of the walls are women.
Beautiful.
And it's just, there, usually you go into a church and you just see the disciples. This is all women. All the women saints are around us. And there's the most beautiful picture with the sun and the feminine Mary up, way up on, like putting her feet over the whole globe. And I see that, that essence right now. That's really preciousness that happened for me there. It's just so sweet. Very
Sounds lovely. Yeah.
really
I mean,
cool.
a lot of you know that I'm a Celtic shamanic high priestess, and so I work a lot with the goddesses, which that brings to mind, right? Having all that feminine energy with all the female archetypes. It's beautiful.
We're gonna bring her in, but she's there too. There we are.
Beautiful. The goddess. There's the goddess.
Yeah. And I love this picture. And Ian and I went to a beautiful thing. And since I had my fifth child, I have to say my breasts are quite large. And I looked at him and I held my breasts and here I am.
There she is.
There I am. So all of you make sure and love your body today too.
Absolutely.
This presence of love and forgiveness. There's a wonderful practice that Aveline gave us and Michio. It's a body scrub. And you actually take a white cloth in the morning. And I do a lot of healing practices for people. And you take a white cloth and a basin and you heat it with water. And you pick the cloth preciously, because this is the deep, deep love of your body. And you wring it out. You fill the bowl in the morning with hot water from your faucet. Doesn't have to be, just from the faucet. You wring the towel, dip it, wring it out, and then you scrub your body from head to toe. And your skin is your largest organ.
It is.
So your vibrational patterning starts releasing things. But the thing that it did for me is forgive myself for all these body parts that the world tells you, oh, you shouldn't be this or you shouldn't be that. And I started loving my body more. And just like really we don't touch our bodies and we don't take time to touch. But this could be a forgiveness prayer for all the women in the world when we do it. We could do that for a week and just think about women and the toxicity of larger women. And in Mexico, the large woman is the sacred one because she's carried life, So I think really we have to change this for this next generation of women.
Absolutely. Yeah. Even our body needs forgiveness. Absolutely.
Definitely. Beautiful, beautiful. Lovely.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really nice.
Big hello to Hippen City. Thank you for joining us.
Hippen City, all these names. It's very fun.
It is. It's a great community. Yeah, I think there is a lot of, that's something, that's certainly work I've been delving into a little bit, is that forgiveness work for my body, because we grow up in a world that tells us if we're not like a model, then we're not okay, right? And that's really that's not the case, Really, that's a very small percentage of people that actually fit into that category. And I had a friend describe women. It was a male friend. He described women as just different flavors of ice cream.
Beautiful.
In the sense that, we're all sweet. We just have our own personalities and uniqueness. And I thought that was really cool, the way he described it, because it's,
Sonia's asking about the sound of S. So I think, Michelle, you'll have to
What about S? Oh, yes. If
So,
Michelle's still here, she can help us out with that.
yeah. And I think S is really fun. Sa se si so su. And I think R is really fun. Ra re re ro ru. And
That's
you
a powerful one when you think about Ra,
Ra.
right? Egyptian god.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
And I think if you can think about the sounds like jelly, J. Jelly came from the word J, jelly, jam, jumble, jungle. Think about words that come up with your consonant in the world. You can start finding a little bit more about yourself too. Yeah. So I think we should do this forgiveness prayer for our bodies this week. I think it would be a wonderful week practice for the summer. And I would love to really stay attuned with your community and do it myself and really just love our bodies this week. I haven't done the body scrub in a while. It's good to do 50, it's like an exercise, like 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes at night. And it's really lovely. And then these little Marys that we got in Israel, if you touch them, they fit ideally right in your hand.
Nice.
And there's a really big one. And so you can hold that preciousness, and you can do it with stones, right? Anybody can grab a stone this week and just like really hope that you open that doorway. Oh, very nice.
So Shiva Lingam are great for that.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
They're awesome for balancing that male-female energy.
Beautiful.
But they're very like, to me, the curvaceousness of it is very feminine.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Stones are so cute.
So I have another little friend that I got on the weekend who's full of energy too.
Oh, do you have a name?
Bonita was what she gave me.
Hello, yeah. Bonita. Oh my gosh. Hello, Bonita. This is so fun.
We have a little bit of clearing work to do together still, so yeah. I haven't delved into that too much, but we're going to clear that out this week. I'm on vacation this week after today, so.
Oh, you are? There you go. Are you going to do something special?
It's a staycation, but nice. I'm going to be. That's my goal, is just be. Rather than do, be. That's the thing.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Hello, Amanda. Nice to meet you. Yeah. Yeah, she's
awesome, Amanda. Thank you.
Like a pinkish color?
Yes, she's a rose quartz, Bonita.
Yeah, very light. Very light.
It is.
Very nice. So I met my wonderful friend who's the shaman from Guatemala, Jose, and he brings 13,000-year-old beautiful, beautiful stones with him, and calls them the grandmothers. And I have to be honest, I crave to go visit grandmother. The one grandmother is so much aligned with me, and we chat and we have such a deep experience. It's really lovely. So I got into skulls through him, and I just have to hold her every time that I'm with him. And it's such a funny thing. And my kids thought I was completely nuts. They said, "Mom, what are you doing?" And I bought one, and I haven't found her since I moved. Let me just look. You talk for a minute. Let me look real quick to see if I can catch her, because I think I might know where she is.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly why I need to be. Then I won't need a vacation to recover from my vacation. It's all about rest and rejuvenation. It's been a busy time, so thank you, Fogo Pogo. Well deserved. Yeah, it's been an awesome time. It's just time to take time, right? We all have to take that time to do the self-care and all of that. What's the difference? Okay, let's see this. What's the difference in using a human skull and a dragon skull? Are you talking about crystal human and crystal dragon skull? I think that might be what you're saying. So the legend behind the crystal skulls is that there were crystal skulls designed in Atlantis. Yes, crystal. Okay. And all of the ancient knowledge and wisdom was programmed into these skulls, and the skulls were sent out to all areas of the world to hold that knowledge during the fall of Atlantis. That's the legend. And so when we tap into the human skulls, that is the wisdom that we're pulling on. Dragon skulls, I haven't done a lot of work with those, so I'm not really sure. Do you know anything about that one, Lynn? The dragon crystal skulls is what
I'm
she's...
gonna bring the dragon in. I'll bring the dragon in. And let's see what we can do. I totally am into dragons because of the way the earth is maneuvered. There's 8 dragons that oversee, the legend goes, the earth. And so we're going to bring the dragons in.
Dragon energy.
Dragon energy. And I think it's important to really open. If you were going to see a skull, yeah, I would think of protection. Yeah, the vibrational world.
So for me, I have a dragon that looks somewhat like this. He's like eggplant purple, and his name is Megan. And I have a red dragon whose name is Templeton. So Megan is like larger. Templeton is kind of like what I would call a teenager. Like that's what, I mean, he's not, but that's how we would equate to where he's at. And then I have a little baby one.
Oh.
And these are dragons that in the astral that I work with. And his name is Pepper. And he's like red and green and kind of like a mixed pepper. He's red and green and yellow and orange. And so, and he's quite young. So he's a lot of fun. So Hipseti is saying dragons are magical. Absolutely, they are magical.
100%.
For sure. And you're asking what dragon energy is. What is dragon energy? So dragon energy is really calling upon the elemental beings that are dragons who carry a huge amount of wisdom. And they help us in all sorts of different ways. Mine help a lot with the healing work. You know, their flame is very healing, so they will sometimes use that. They can call them purple flame, the violet flame, and so they will use that. I know I had surgery, dental surgery a while back, and I remember having a Reiki session, and Megan came and like put his head right on my chest and like licked me all the way on my face, and then just lay there to give me healing while I was having my session. So that was a lot of fun. So I work with them all the time. It's a beautiful energy. And Sonia says, my oldest daughter has a Day of the Dead lady, a little Sazi statue with a dress and a big hat, a hand on her hip, and she's named her Bonita. Beautiful. She's had her forever. Well, thank you. It's beautiful. Thank you. I just met Bonita last weekend, not this past weekend, but the one before. So we were out at a crystal show in Syracuse, actually. And,
you came out this way.
Yeah. The other one that I got that is kind of, you might get a kick out of this since you've had some ET stuff.
Beautiful.
My little blue opalite Pleiadian.
They're definitely around.
Absolutely.
Remember the day, I think that's what happened, the whole room, the gentleman that was working with the energies, remember? The last time I spoke to you, you invited me to be part of this organization, the Alien.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yes, yeah. It was Sylvain we were talking to.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. The Alliance for Extraterrestrial Diplomatic Contact.
Yeah, and how is he doing with the organization? Yeah.
Good. We're up to 1.8 million supporters.
Wow, fantastic.
25 organizations.
So, very cool. I bet it's been there. Tell them I'm interested now that I'm landed.
Absolutely. I will do that.
Both times I've really tried to dive in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. So Ming says she felt grief when I spoke about the fall of Atlantis.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's mine or someone else's. It may be many.
yeah. I had a drop there too. I dropped.
Yep.
So yeah. It's
I was there, so it might have been me. I don't know. I think it's more than just me. I think there's a lot of people that were there, and we don't even realize that when we talk about it, our soul remembers that, right? I had at least 2 lifetimes there. How about you, Lynn?
I have not had that as much as I was a monk over and over and over. I did a very deep inner journey
Mm.
for many, many, many moons. And definitely the work that I've done in Pakistan. Some of you don't know this, but I've been back and forth to Pakistan, and the old feminine there, it's a very deep, rich land. And if you walk, everybody says, oh, it's too dangerous, or blah, blah, blah. Well, Mama Lynn spoke all over the country, and I only had one lecture planned. And this is how spirit moves, right?
It is.
And I lectured in every major city there and went into places where people there didn't even want me to go. And it just was happening. And the feminine, for me, this idea of arising in a new thought. I'll tell you what happens. When you go into the older lands of Pakistan, all the goddess temples were torn down. And I was supposed to go to wake up the feminine. I had no idea what spirit was asking. So as you walk into the older areas of Pakistan, there's a country there that there's a land there that was at peace for 1,000 years. And there's 5 places on the planet that's happened. And it's a really powerful thing to think about. But in Pakistan, St. Thomas was there in the year 57. And I like Doubting Thomas. I think he does a lot of parables and a lot of deep work. But if you walk into the home of a man and woman, you can open up the relationship of you don't walk into where the man he lives there, but another man cannot walk into the woman's home. Only a woman can enter where her home is. And so a man has to go all the way around and go in the back door.
Oh, wow.
As I walk in the feminine area, the grandmothers wrap you in a beautiful cloth.
Nice.
And they nurture you. And if we think about forgiveness, we'll go back to our card.
Mm-hmm.
Think about forgiveness. I'd love you guys to wrap yourselves in cloth, maybe in this, as we do the body scrub this week. Maybe you could do a healing practice of wrapping yourself in cloth.
Mm-hmm.
Just like really find a nice, beautiful cloth that you love and around your home, some sort of scarf or something, but wrap yourself after you do your body scrub and just let yourself soothe, because that's what it felt like.
Beautiful.
And I think it's a really important thing. So what does
Mm-hmm.
say? She says, many people there, a psychic told me I was a scientist in Atlantis, but I don't remember that.
You may at some point.
Yeah, it'll come if it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Things open up as they come.
I was a high priestess and was sent out to Egypt from Atlantis at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also a freedom fighter. This one happened. This is kind of a funny story, actually. It happened. I was in a crystalline consciousness class, and the teacher had just finished telling us that crystals are first dimensional beings. And so I go into meditation. He was, I don't know, I don't even remember what he was talking about, because I went on my own little journey, and I ended up seeing myself in Atlantis. And I walked into this room that had this round console thing in the center. And in the middle of it was this massive quartz crystal, like massive. And I was all dressed in white. I was male. And I walked over to this crystal, and I grabbed the crystal and I smashed it on the floor. And I came out of my meditation, and I was I was horrified. I came out and I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? and I had heard during it that I was a freedom fighter was coming to mind over and over again. But I didn't really know what that meant. So then the teacher's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I just had this visual that I smashed a crystal in Atlantis. And he said, yes, but you were a freedom fighter. I said, yes, I heard that. And he said, so he started to tell me about how all of the Atlanteans had these crystal crowns. I'd like to think it's something like this that would control the populace because they're so programmable. People were wearing them for healing, but ended up, the powers that be started controlling people through the crystal crowns. And so part of what I was doing was breaking the master crystal that was sending out that frequency to the crystal crowns in Atlantis. So that was quite an interesting,
very, very interesting
discovery, shall we say, self-discovery.
Well, dear ones, I appreciate you having me on. How long do you usually stay on?
Just for an hour. So we're just about at the end there. So I want to thank you all. Oh, we want to say hello to Oracles of Healing Light. Thank you for joining us. It's so great to see you all. And for coming to share your energy with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please. That would be awesome. We always like to be able to let you know when we've got stuff coming up. Check out the Torch family. Check out the Torch family and, Lynn Chittick Thompson now.
I don't have Thompson on my Facebook page.
So it's under Lynn Chittick.
I'm going in and out, sorry. Thompson's not on my Facebook page. I'm going to probably keep it Lynn Chittick just because it's, when I chanted Lynn Chittick, Lynn Chittick, Lynn Chittick, Lynn Chittick, right, in front of the mirror like that we talked about, I laughed. And I take myself too serious sometimes because of so much happening, right? So I really like Lynn Chittick.
I've been it's been suggested that I use my maiden name at times. So for certain shows, so my maiden name is Rose. Oh. So Tanis Rose is like my
Tanis Rose,
my given one.
Rose.
So
very good. Yeah, beautiful.
So thank you all. Please reach out. If you have questions or you just want to chat with Lynn, please reach out to her on Facebook. And do you have an email that you'd like to share with them?
Sure. How do I put it in? Yeah, there we go.
If you put it in the private chat, then we can put it over to the overlay and we'll put that there. So there we are.
Yeah, I hope you all had a beautiful time. Thank you for coming to my beautiful sister, Thomas.
Thank you so much for joining us. Lynn was able to join us like last minute, guys. So big gratitude for being able to join us and share her energy and her beautiful body of knowledge with her lovely years of experience and all of your travels and all of that. Just so.
Yeah, there's a lot of travels, many stories, stories. And I think we need to do this work, Tanis, and I think you and I should do something here. So we'll have to dance again soon.
Absolutely.
Wait till,
Yeah, for sure. And we'll have you back on the show again another time as well. And sometime in the new year, we'll have a conversation when Jen can be here too. So thank you so much for joining us. And we thank you all for joining us for our show today. Wishing you all a wonderful week. And please do try the forgiveness stuff for the body that Lynn was talking about as well, okay? All those practices that she shared with us.
Can I ask one thing?
Absolutely.
Can we end in the name of Sue?
Sure.
All right, shall we?
Awesome.
We have other things to share first.
Nope, I was just going to sign off and say, have an awesome week. We're sending you lots of love, you guys, and we'll
Okay.
send you off with Shu.
Okay, so everybody 3 times, okay? And you're going to
Mhm.
breathe in, but you're going to breathe in strong, right?
Mhm.
And do 3 times Shu, and then we'll sign off. Tanis will sign off, okay?
Awesome.
God bless you all, and I hope you have a beautiful night and a beautiful day. And the sound of Sue, let it go out to the world today. All right, so you can even put your hands up and then put them forward and let the energy flow through and send it out to somebody that might need healing. But the sound of Sue you can hold for yourself or send it out, like I said, or out to the world.
Well, we're sending it out to all of you.
There we go. Ready? Breathe in. And one more.
Much peace and blessings to you all. Thank you, Lynn. Much gratitude.